Hey everyone, my name is Jessica. Welcome to my channel. I have an Instant Pot recipe for you guys today, and I have to tell you, I have a love affair with my Instant Pot. I use it 3 or 4 times a week, and this recipe is nothing short of delicious and versatile as well. So some of the ingredients we're using here, I went ahead and pre-chopped them. Some of them are leftover ingredients that I had that I really need to use. I chopped everything up beforehand just to kind of cut back on time, but I'm putting olive oil inside the Instant Pot. I have it on saute function right now, and I'm quickly grating up some fresh ginger to go in there. And we're going to start by adding the diced onions to the Instant Pot when the oil is heated up. Normally I would use fresh garlic in this recipe, but honestly, I just need to use things that are on hand because we can't always go out to the store and buy all the ingredients we need to do a recipe. So I used the vegetables that I had on hand. I had celery and carrots and broccoli and kale. And with my kids, they're not huge fans of broccoli. So I am only putting a little bit in the recipe just to introduce it to them. And honestly, I didn't even notice that there was broccoli in it when I was eating it. So I've added turmeric. I have a miso powder that I added from Epicure. And I only add a little bit of salt and pepper at the beginning, and I don't actually cook it in the Instant Pot with a whole lot of salt and pepper because at the end, you don't even really taste the salt by the time it's done in the Instant Pot. So I find that you can add a lot if you're not careful. So I'm adding the sweet potatoes. Just make sure to stir through every stage. And when you're adding the seasoning at the beginning, it's really allowing those fragrances to come out. It's like you're opening up that seasoning to the flavors and letting your vegetables really soak that in. I'm not going to add the kale until the end because it gets really wilted and it kind of looks brown and it's a little bit soggy. So yeah, we're going to save that until the end. So I'm using coconut aminos here. You could use soy sauce if you have it. Coconut aminos is a nice alternative if you don't want the soy or if you're gluten-free. And then I'm going to drain some chickpeas and rinse them off really good and add those in as well. Just as a side note, I am going to put the recipe in the description box below so you can check that out. It'll be all written down for you. There's my diced tomatoes. I had 1/2 to 3/4 of a big can of diced tomatoes left in the fridge just from another recipe, and I'm like, I really need to use these up. So that's where a lot of the recipes in my kitchen are born, is just by looking in my fridge and being like, okay, I have all of these things, what can I make with it? Because I don't want things to go to waste. So I added some water here, and then I'm going to add some vegetable bouillon. That's me standing in the fridge going, what was I going to grab? And I completely forgot the bouillon. And I was like, sun-dried tomatoes, so let's throw a little bit of those in there. My kids are probably talking to me at this point in time. There's the veggie bouillon. There we go. I'm going to add that in there, make sure it's mixed up really good. I love the Instant Pot. It's so easy just to throw things together. I'm going to set this on high pressure for 20 minutes, and while that's cooking, I'm going to start my rice. You could put this over potatoes or rice, it's totally up to you, but I have sweet potatoes in the recipe already, so I'm going to do rice as the base. If you have a rice cooker, lucky you. If not, good old-fashioned way on the stovetop. So that's all finished. I'm going to put, it's probably about 1/3 of a cup to 1/2 of a cup of rice in there. So with this recipe, I wanted to manually release the steam. You can let it sit in the Instant Pot and let it release by itself, but if you're short on time, you need it right away, like I did today. I was starving. It's like, I need to eat now. So it looks pretty good. I'm going to stir it up. And then what I'll do is take a couple spoonfuls of this out, and I'm going to put it in the bowl there and introduce the coconut milk to it so that the coconut milk doesn't curdle. So there'll be more coconut milk than there will be stew. this will just help incorporate it a lot easier. This is a full fat coconut milk, that's why it's so thick. I also had it in the fridge because I use the other half of the can in another recipe as well. I'm going to take that fresh kale and put it in so it can start steaming, cooking down a little bit. I'm going to grab the immersion blender and I'm going to blend up the coconut milk and the stew mixture so that it thickens and I can add it back into the stew. It'll give it a nice light color. And if you have younger kids, I mean, you can go in and blend the entire thing and make a soup out of this. If they're not huge fans of having those chunks, or you just have younger kids and you really want to get some vegetables into them, this is a great recipe for that. I mean, I have a 1-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 5-year-old, so I have different stages, but my 1-year-old ate this no problem. All the veggies are so nice and soft, and he loves sweet potatoes. So now I'm going to go in and season with salt and pepper. Just make sure that it's to the taste that I would like it. And then I'm going to serve this over rice. You can top this with anything you want. I put cilantro on mine. You could put a little dollop of sour cream if you are eating dairy. Or even feta cheese would be excellent on this as well. If you're not a huge fan of cilantro, some parsley would be nice. Or you can just eat it as is. I don't know, I grew up and I really didn't like cilantro, and now I can't get enough of it. Maybe pregnancy did that to me, maybe it was age, I'm not sure, but I could put that stuff on anything and everything, and it's so good. Well, thank you for checking out my channel. I hope you like this recipe. Like and subscribe down below, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys in another video. Have a great week.